Hello everyone and welcome to Explore Engineering. Have you ever wondered how India preserved its vast knowledge thousands of years before the invention of printing? From the Guru-Shishya tradition to remarkable Vedic recitation techniques and ancient manuscripts, India developed extraordinary methods to protect its wisdom. Join me as we explore the fascinating journey of knowledge transmission in India and discover how this priceless heritage continues to inspire the world today. Let's begin. Here this image illustrates the knowledge transmission in India and how the ancient Indians developed the systematic methods to preserve and pass knowledge from one generation to the next. Long before the invention of printing, knowledge was carefully transmitted through well-organized educational practices that ensured its accuracy and continuity. So here you can see the first section, that is the oral tradition, where knowledge was passed from the teachers to the students through the spoken words. Students carefully listen to their teachers and memorize the lessons, allowing sacred text and valuable knowledge to be preserved without written books. The second section is the Guru-Shishya tradition, where the traditional system of education in which students learn directly from their guru, and learning involved listening, memorization, discussion, and regular practice, helping students to develop knowledge, discipline, and moral values while ensuring the accurate transmission of learning. The third section is the Vedic recitation techniques, which includes the Padapatha, Kramapatha, and the Ghanapatha. These special methods of recitation minimize the errors and preserve the Vedas with remarkable precision through repeated chanting and structured memorization. Then comes the manuscript tradition, where knowledge was later recorded on the palm leaves, birch bark, and copper plates. These manuscripts were carefully copied and preserved for future generations. So here we can understand that India's knowledge transmission systematic system successfully combined oral learning, teacher-student education, advanced recitation techniques, and manuscript preservation. And these methods safeguarded India's rich intellectual, cultural, and spiritual heritage for thousands of years and ensured that valuable knowledge remained accurate, authentic, and accessible to future generations. Now let's see these all in detail one by one. So first is the oral tradition, which is one of the earliest and most important methods of knowledge transmission in ancient India. Now, before the invention of the printing and the widespread use of books, knowledge was passed directly from the teachers, that is the gurus, to the students, that is the shishyas, through the spoken words. And here you can see a guru is there who is teaching the students in the Gurukul, represents the traditional educational system where learning took place in a peaceful, natural environment. Now, this section, okay, this highlights the process of learning through listening, memorization, and repeated recitation. Students carefully listened to their teacher, memorized every lesson, and recited it repeatedly until it was remembered perfectly. This disciplined method enabled them to preserve the Vedas and other sacred texts with remarkable accuracy for thousands of years before they were written down. And the icons here, these icons which represents the listening, then memory, speaking, and the recitation. Okay, this is nothing but the recitation, which emphasize the essential stages of the learning process. Now here you can see the importance of the oral tradition, which states that um, like or which ensured that the sacred knowledge remained authentic, accurate, and free from distortion. Now, since every word, pronunciation, and sequence was memorized carefully, errors were minimized during the transmission from one generation to the next. So overall, from this image, we can say that oral tradition was the foundation of ancient India's education system, and it successfully preserved the country's religious, philosophical, and cultural heritage for centuries, ensuring that valuable knowledge remained unchanged and was faithfully transmitted across the generations. Next comes the Guru-Shishya tradition. It is here it emphasized the holistic learning and the all-round development of the students. And at the center you can see that a guru is there, that is a teacher. He is seated under a large tree in a peaceful gurukul surrounded by the students, that is the shishya. This natural environment symbolizes the close connection between the education, nature, and the spiritual growth. In ancient India, students lived with their guru, learning not only academic subjects but also values and life skills through daily interaction and guidance. So here the Guru-Shishya system focused on developing discipline, then character, ethics, and practical skills rather than simply acquiring the theoretical knowledge. And here you can see the icons. Okay. Um, you can see the icons which represents these four essential qualities, showing that education aimed to produce responsible, honest, and skilled individuals capable of serving the society. And here are the four primary methods of learning followed in the Gurukul. The first is the listening carefully to the Guru's teachings, because the education was mainly oral. Second is the memorized sacred text and important lessons through repeated recitation, which helped preserve ancient scriptures and strengthen the memory. Third is the students engaged in the discussion and questioning to clarify difficult concepts and deepen their understanding. And finally, they practiced what they learned through regular recitation and practical application, enabling them to transform knowledge into useful skills. So, the importance or the major contribution of this educational system was the Guru Shishya tradition developed the knowledge, discipline, moral values, and strong teacher student relationships while ensuring the accurate preservation of learning. And the close bond between the Guru and the students allowed personalized guidance, character building, and lifelong mentorship. Since knowledge was passed directly from the teacher to the students with great care, important religious, scientific, philosophical, and cultural traditions were preserved accurately across generations. Next is the Vedic recitation techniques. So here, this is the unique oral methods which was developed by the ancient Indian scholars to preserve the Vedas with complete accuracy. And before the invention of printing, the Vedas were transmitted from one generation to another through the oral recitation. To ensure that every word, sound, pronunciation, and sequence remains unchanged, scholars created systematic methods of chanting. And here you can see the image of the Guru teaching students in a traditional Gurukul, symbolizing the importance of direct teacher-student learning in preserving the sacred knowledge. It explains the three major recitation techniques. The first is the Padapatha, involves the reciting each word of a Vedic hymn separately. Okay, and by pronouncing every word individually, students learn the correct pronunciation, meaning, and grammatical structure of each word, and this method formed the foundation of accurate learning. Second is the Kramapatha, which required the students to recite the words in the overlapping pairs, such as the word here 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and so on. So this sequence strengthened the memory and ensured that the order of the words was never altered. And even if a student forgot a word, the overlapping pattern helped reconstruct the correct sequence. Okay, here you can see the second word is learnt here and the third word is learnt here. Okay, similarly the fourth one and the fifth one. So it is 1, 2, this is 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 5, 6. Then the third is the Ghanapata. It is the most advanced method, and in this technique the words are recited repeatedly in forward and backward combinations, and this highly complex chanting pattern creates multiple repetitions, making it almost impossible for mistakes to occur. Only well-trained scholars could master this advanced method after years of dedicated practice. So the importance of the Vedic recitation techniques is that the recitation methods minimize the errors and preserve the Vedas with extraordinary accuracy for thousands of years. The symbols representing the strong memory, error prevention, then preservation of ancient knowledge, and accurate transmission for generations emphasize the remarkable effectiveness of this oral tradition. Next comes the manuscript tradition. where it is also an important stage in the preservation of knowledge in ancient India. As writing became more widespread, scholars began to record the valuable information in the form of manuscripts instead of relying only on oral transmission. And here you can see a dedicated scribe carefully writing a manuscript by hand and highlighting the patience, skill, and accuracy required to copy the important text. Since printing technology did not exist, every manuscript had to be written manually, making each copy a valuable source of knowledge. Now here the you can see three major materials which were used for writing the ancient manuscripts. The first one was the palm leaves, where widely used, like these leaves were widely used in southern India because they were easily available, and they were durable and could be inscribed after proper drying and polishing. Second is the birch bark. This was commonly used in the northern India, especially in the Himalayan regions where the birch trees were abundant. Then third is the copper plates. These were used to record the royal grants and then land donations, then legal documents and important inscriptions because they could last for centuries without the significant damage. And another important feature which is shown here is the preservation of the manuscripts. So after being copied, these valuable documents were carefully stored in the temples, then monasteries and the libraries to protect them from damage and loss. Ancient centers of learning, including famous universities, safeguarded these manuscripts so that future generations could continue to learn from them. And these institutions, they played a vital role in collecting, organizing, and preserving India's intellectual and cultural heritage. So the importance of manuscript tradition is that it complemented the oral tradition. While the oral recitation ensured accurate pronunciation and memorization, manuscripts provided a permanent written record of knowledge. They preserved important subjects such as literature, philosophy, science, medicine, mathematics, then astronomy, grammar, and the historical records. And the symbols here in the image, these represent the knowledge preservation, then protection, wide range of academic disciplines, and the transmission of learning across the generations. So here knowledge becomes truly valuable only when it is preserved and shared with the future generations. And ancient India's unique methods of oral learning, Guru-Shishya education, Vedic recitation, and manuscript preservation demonstrate the richness of our intellectual heritage. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Explore Engineering for more educational content. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.